We return now to our top story, yesterday's deadly shooting at a Minneapolis Catholic school. Earlier today, the acting U.S. attorney from Minnesota spoke about the shooter's mindset.
The shooter expressed hate towards almost every group imaginable. The shooter expressed hate towards black people. The shooter expressed hate towards Mexican people. The shooter expressed hate towards Christian people. The shooter expressed hate towards Jewish people. In short, the shooter appeared to hate all of us.
As the investigation unfolds, U.S. officials are placing the shooter into a relatively new category of criminal behavior known as nihilistic violent extremism. CBS News Homeland Security correspondent Nicole Sganga joins us now to explain about this. Nicole, it's great to see you. How does the FBI define nihilistic violent extremism?
Meg, the FBI defines this relatively new term, like you said, nihilistic violent extremism and extremists as individuals who engage in criminal conduct within the U.S., but also abroad, in furtherance of what they say are political, social, or religious goals that derive primarily from a hatred of society at large and a desire to bring about its collapse by sowing indiscriminate chaos, destruction, social instability. And investigators looking into the Minneapolis shooting at Annunciation Church have used that term to define some of the violence that we saw play out. It's a broad term. It's used to try to sew together some of the more high-profile and complicated cases in recent months. So thinking about the assassination attempts on President Trump's life, the killing of Brian Thompson, the United Healthcare CEO, even the destructions we saw earlier this year of Tesla vehicles. And the phrase also marks a departure from an older term that the Biden administration used to use, anti-government or even anti-authority extremism, that was tapped repeatedly after January 6th.
Well, as we wait to see what the motive was in this latest school shooting, what are security officials doing to try and identify people who fit into this category before something happens like yesterday's shooting? As we heard at an earlier press conference today, the shooter was not on their radar.
Yeah, this is a persistent challenge on the state, on the local, on the federal level. And it's so often the problem with these perpetrators whose actions don't really meet a criminal threshold, like you say. What's needed here is early intervention, access to behavioral health programs. The U.S. government at the federal level has consistently thrown a lot of money at this problem, but the Trump administration more recently has rolled back funding for DHS's, the Department of Homeland Security's, counterterrorism prevention program, known as CP3. And the same goes for the Safer Community Act grants. The Trump administration said back in May it's going to stop paying out $1 billion in federal grants schools had been using to hire mental health professionals. On the state level, we see that Minnesota does have a red flag law allowing family members, city or county attorneys, even chief law enforcement officers to petition a court for an order to temporarily remove firearms or guns from someone's house that poses a danger to others or themselves, and a judge can issue a temporary order, even without a hearing if there's an imminent risk, followed by a final order, which can last up to a year. But Meg, there's no indication that the gunman's family or local law enforcement did that in this case. Given the shooter had no criminal history, again, it's difficult to say who beyond those close to the gunman might have seen these signs and indicators, the weapons, the writings. But certainly a question that many are asking right now, could something have been done sooner? Meg?
Yeah, so many questions remain. Nicole Sganga, thank you.